All right. What's up, humans? Welcome to another episode of The Collective, the purpose-driven podcast meant to elevate your mind, your consciousness through the stories and experiences of some badass individuals. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from this spectacular skyline in downtown Los Angeles, California, it's your host with the most, the man with the plan, your very own Angelino right here, Jacobo. Ladies and gentlemen, help me in joining today and welcoming such a great guest, a great friend of mine in this world of assumption pertaining to homelessness and its issues and resolutions. This individual right here is bringing his boots to the ground to truly have a better understanding of homelessness at the roots from the inside out. And through the power of patience and persistence and prayer, this wonderful warrior is putting his money where his mouth is, matching every purchase with a purpose, and driving his organization, Give Sope, to new heights and becoming a leader in the fight to resolve homelessness and its issues. To witness his power through this action and how that power could be leveraged for greatness was simply amazing. It gave me a totally new perspective of the power that we have as individuals in this world. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, help me in welcoming to the collective a good friend of mine and a friend to the Los Angeles community, the president and CEO of Give Sope, Mr. Victor Angel. And now, ladies and gentlemen, strap in for me because we're about to go on a wild ride with Angel and his experiences. This, ladies and gentlemen, is The Collective.
Oh man, great way to bring it in. I love the laughs. Guys. So, welcome to another episode of The Collective. This is episode number 2, the best episode ever to date, right? That's that's just because we, continue to bring it home, and we want to make sure that we're doing whatever we can to really bring to light a collective consciousness for people. That is pretty much the purpose of our show here, but. Just wanted to welcome once again to our show Victor Angel, the president and CEO of Give Sope. Such a great company, great organization, and this guy is really bringing it home when it comes to addressing and attacking these homelessness issues, not only in Los Angeles and Los Angeles County, but also all of Southern California and even extending further down south into some other projects that he's working on. But such a great human being to be able to I've personally been out there in the trenches with Victor on a couple of occasions. Nothing to toot my horn in comparison, but the work that he does is definitely something that you would look to and say, hey, that's a guy that's serving right there, and that's remarkable to be able to associate with an individual like this. And it's kind of great because our introduction to each other was based off of something so simple as our dogs meeting at a dog park, and to see life just unfolding for this individual, great thing. So once again, Victor Angel, welcome to the show. Welcome to the collective, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, a true pleasure, just to even be on this show with you here, man. I always told you had a radio voice, so I'm glad that you're using your gift to be able to create a platform for others to even share their story. So thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem, dude. So just jumping straight into it, let's just bring some factual figures to life. I was doing some research, and 63,000 plus documented individuals documented for homelessness. Right. You and I, we've been down there. We've seen, the plethora of individuals that are down there, and just from the sheer numbers, you can tell that it's more than 63,000.
Definitely more, especially after COVID. There are many that haven't been documented, and a lot of that comes to, honestly, the pride that a person has, having had a lot, me being in that situation myself, at one point in my life, and then losing it all. You never know what can happen tomorrow, so it's always important to lend a helping hand. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to show love in action, to those around you, regardless of race, ethnicity. It doesn't matter. Everyone deserves to be loved. Everyone deserves to be respected. And that's just my mentality and what I carry and what I'm trying to bring into the streets.
Right. And that's huge when it really comes down to it. Being able to show that person that you care taking in consideration that everybody's a human being, everybody's got their own individual story, and for you to be able to go down there, recognize that, and share some fellowship with individuals that a lot of people shy away from.
Amen.
And think that they're vermin or something of that sort. But going down there with Give Sope, and in the relative infancy that it was, I could already see that you were doing great things. I mean, literally washing people's feet, and we're going to dive further into this, guys. So make sure you're sticking around, because just the simple act of washing someone's feet has helped to create somewhat of an economy, in which Victor is now able to give back into the community even more. But just kind of going down, tell us a little bit, man, like just kind of like paint that picture for us of what you see when you go down onto places like Los Angeles Street or Skid Row or anything like that. What is it that you're seeing?
Well, it's funny you say, what do I see, right? Because we all have different perspectives, but actually being on the ground and being able to walk these streets and into some of these corners, right? You get invited to a lot of these people's homes, and I see exactly what you guys see at home. I see a roof that was created, by tarps. I see couches, I see carpets, I see beds. Obviously, it's to their own, to what they can actually do on the street. Just imagine that, like starting from scratch. You're becoming a builder all of a sudden, right? So being able to get together pallets of wood, carts, tarps, wires, like you got to practically build this, and I've stepped into some pretty set up, houses. It's what it is. It's a house, right. And it's something that they're building for themselves and their families or whoever they're with, So it's a sight to see, to be honest. I mean, I never thought myself to be out there doing what I'm doing now, but it was just something that came to me, honestly. I all glory and honor goes to God, above all things, because He's the reason why I'm out there, Right. And so I have a second chance to even be able to do life and be in business, and to have my family and to have my friends, to have met Jacoby, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, everything really does transcribe and adds to the story. So it's been a journey, but I'm happy to be where I'm at, and I'm happy to be able to, give back to a community that really needs it. And I think that it's something it's not really seen, especially when it comes to hygiene. Right,
and you definitely, tackle that with hygiene and stuff. And you were telling us before, the scary statistic of individuals that are in homeless situations. You're looking at, and you're saying, 30 to 45 days between showers.
Yes.
Like, dude, that's like 9 to 12 showers a year.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
That's remarkable when you're really looking at it. And I'm saying remarkable just because I don't have another word for it necessarily, right? But
yeah, it's really hard to put yourself in that position, right? Because you and I, right, we get to wake up, shower in the morning. Right, shower before bed, or even in between. Like, we have that luxury. It's really a luxury when you look at it. So, 9 to 12 showers is the average that I've kind of put together, because I get to talk to these people, and I get to hear their stories. I get to hear exactly what they're going through, and I always ask, hey, when was the last time you had a shower? Because I'm always looking to give them soap, right? And or whatever it is that they need. I mean, I've gotten a lot of requests. Soap was just that introduction, right, to start a conversation. It was really just me introducing myself to the community that, different communities, downtown LA, Skid Row, San Fernando Valley. I mean, I've been kind of moving around, like you said, the coast. And so for us, it's really remarkable to see and know, like, the amount of days that people actually do go by without showering. And that's something that honestly messes with the mental state. It is mental health, and it all starts with the shower. We all step into a shower to feel refreshed, renewed, revived, to start a new day. It kind of sets the tone. It sets the pace of your day, believe it or not. And it's something that's honestly underlooked, and so I'm looking to serve that need that is definitely necessary. The body is the largest organ the largest organ. I'm sorry, the skin. The skin is the largest organ of our bodies. We need to be able to take care of that, and how we do that is by showering, by making sure we're getting the right, ingredients into our skin, the right essential oils and stuff, and pretty much reintroduce moisture, because a lot of these people, when we're out there serving, I mean, their feet are very dry. There's a lot of cracks, in the skin. And so a lot of times that does cause disease. And actually there's this statistic that states that they lose about 8 to 12 years of life. So just imagine the person that are actually living on the street, they have 8 to 12 years less chances to live than you and I.
That's huge. That is huge right there, brother, because just imagine just knowing, you got 8 to 10 years less than that's got to be extremely detrimental to the thought processes, the mind development of any individual. If you just know, hey,
right.
and it all depends on the mindset that you come from, whether or not you're going to take that as an L, right? Take that as a loss, or are you going to live life to the fullest? And I mean, it's really an interesting story when it comes down to the homelessness issue, because even when I was down there and I was talking with individuals while we were washing people's feet, man, it was crazy to just think it wasn't some type of crazy issue. Some people are just out on their luck, right? They just happen to lose their job or something like that. It's not always necessarily some big thing that it was shameful or anything like that. It could be something as innocent as just losing your job, or just falling down just once or twice. And we tend to look at those major issues, and then we realize and we forget how thankful maybe we should be, just because of the fact that, unlike this person who doesn't get to wash the day off, right, and shake it off, they gotta, the people that can't take a shower,
they gotta go right back into the rubbish.
They go right back into it, man. And that's the thing. They go into it, but they're not able to wash I guess you could say, the sins of the day off, right? They can't just wash themselves clean and then start anew, because they physically are feeling like they're still stuck there.
Yes.
So that's huge when you guys are contributing that, because it's a huge contribution to those individuals' mental health. And like you were saying, they get an opportunity to relax, to find comfort, right? And so that's something that you guys bring on a massive scale.
Yeah, man. It's really a moment of peace, right? Because it's really but one moment, right? We typically give 25 to about 35 minutes of love in that interaction with that person. And you've seen it. We have about 10 to 20 people that we work on, in the time frame of 3 to 4 hours, right? So we're giving everyone anywhere between 25 and 35 minutes of just personal one-on-one care. What do you need? Why are you here? Are you hurt anywhere? Does your feet hurt? And you have to be very careful and very just ask a lot of questions, because, mind you, these people, they almost have lost how to even interact or communicate with someone. You go so long without talking to someone, so long without being touched, so long without even having just a conversation, because people won't turn to look at you, right? So it's really people from all walks of life. You hit it on the head when you said it's literally different stories. It's what we hear, right? What we listen to. It could be the 70-year-old man that got out of jail. You know what I'm saying? That was working with Homeboy. What is it?
Homeboy Industries.
Homeboy Industries. Right. Yeah. Right.
Pepe,
our friend Pepe down right here on Broadway. Right. He had just got out the joint. Let's be real. And what a lot of these people, most beautiful handwriting. I mean, the most meticulous, the most neat, very organized. Why he was in there, I don't know. But does that change who he is? Does that change my perspective of him? No, and it shouldn't, to be honest. right? But what a lot of these people lack, honestly, and it's something that I've been kind of recollecting in my mind just after conversation that we have, is they honestly lack the support. You know, because you mentioned some people want to be there. And although that's true and very unfortunate, there's many that just lack support, right? And I say that from a perspective of like, I lost everything during the pandemic, which is how Give Sope even started. It was in losing that I said, you know what? I'm going to switch the way I do things and I'm going to start to give, right? Because in giving, you receive as well. And it's just kind of what we were talking about the other day, like the universe just works that way.
Yeah, you were telling me too about, I guess you can call him Dr. J, but Uncle J.
Uncle
right?
J, yeah, Uncle J.
Like he's serving up the shots like Julia's serving right there.
That's
bro.
right.
About the mentality of giving and everything.
Shout
like
out Uncle J.
Man, that
Navy,
was a cool
Navy
story,
Chief,
though, right? But it's like, I mean, let's definitely segue into that and kind of just driving home, you know, what it was about losing everything. Because when I first met you, you were telling me, you know, like because you were in that infancy stage of Give Sope,
right?
And you were telling me about how, you know, you kind of lost everything with COVID and stuff, and the Airbnbs and things of that sort. But like the business was suffering. But like you were telling me the other day, like even when you were at your prime of that business, the top pinnacle of that business, you were nowhere close to the amount of love and happiness that you give out now with Give Sope.
Correct. Yeah, man. You know, there's a fullness that you feel. There's like a fulfillment when you know that you're doing good for someone. You know, and that's a feeling that money can't buy. You know what I'm saying? And I know, you know, a lot, and these people do need money. Like, don't get me wrong. A lot of them do get paid, but essentially the financial is the problem, right? They don't have the means to really take care of themselves, right?
Right.
And so getting to a proper mental stability is really what helps you even set that tone, right? But if you don't have the support, if you lack the support, then you really have nothing to grab on. And if you don't know God or have a relationship, that's even worse.
Yeah, because who else is going to listen to you?
Who's going to listen? I mean, God is always there, and I'm sure that their spirit is knocking on their hearts, you know. But at the end of the day, like, we are people. We are interactive beings. We need to be around interaction. You know,
yeah,
people. Like it's how we're created. It's how we're wired.
Dude, there's this crazy story, and I mean, like it's kind of like it's like a weird story, right? But I mean, heck, we're on this podcast, right?
Jacoby,
I mean, bringing it home. No, but dude, speaking to the relational beings, right? They did this experiment. It was way back in the day when, you know, crazy stuff was allowed in the medical professions and stuff like that, right? Freaking
shockwaves,
lobotomies and stuff like that. So anyways, they were doing this experiment. So they took this baby, right? And they isolated this baby completely. And it's just like, it's a terrible thing. But like, just for the illustration, they isolated this child, right, from all relationships and stuff like that. Of course, they had people to come in and, you know, feed and stuff, but it was like not the same people over and over again, right? So that way they wouldn't develop the relationship. And then after so much time, like, just gone, right? Like
that socialization's not even established.
Right. There's no social relationship that's established. It's like, what type of relationship like
can you
possibly have,
right?
So you know, just kind of like looking at that, it's huge when you talk about the situation where, you know, a person that's in a homeless type situation who hasn't had that relationship with a lot of people, it is hard to socially interact. A lot of people, even coming out of COVID, being that they've worked from home,
100%,
like don't know how to interact. They get social anxiety now because they don't know how to interact with people outside of their own house.
Perfect example, right?
Yeah, and just imagine that. I mean, we're dealing with a 2-year gap here. Individuals could have been on
10, 12 years, yeah.
Right. And can you imagine not only the distancing of people, but also to the ridicule of people, because like they're going down the street, maybe they feel a sense of shame or guilt, anger, fear, all these debilitating emotions, and now you're having to not only deal with the distancing, the social distancing from the general public, but also that general public that's turning that story around and making you out to be the bad guy because you're homeless.
And you're actually, you mentioning that, right? That ridicule that you're talking about, because it's true. I've seen people do it. I've heard people have told me to my face as I'm sharing, or they're reading about what's going on with Give Sope and the people that we're helping, and they say, "Why do you do that?"
Right.
Or what are you doing? Like, why? They want to be there. Leave them there. And it's like, they don't care to share that with me, yet I'm the one that cares for them, right?
Right.
So it brings me to a story where a guy told me that he actually had to pay somebody. I think he said I gave him like $1 or $2. He's like, "Here, man, like I'll buy you a drink from the liquor store if you can just run in there and grab something for me." And the reason why he was doing that is because they're not allowed. They're not allowed to go in and buy stuff because they're not presentable. They're not clean. They're homeless. Right. And so they probably think they're causing trouble, or they're drunk, or that's when all the what do you call that? I lost my train of thought.
Man, I was so enamored with your story because I'm just thinking about it, man. Yeah. I'm just like, it's true though. Yeah. Like, I think we also experienced this. I'm not going to mention my apartment complex or anything, but they had an event for us, right? And this event happened to take place in the walkway, the paseo that they have. And
okay.
So, bear in mind, they know that they're in an area where there's homeless individuals walking
right
around
across the street.
Right across the street, right?
Anywhere you look, yeah.
But, we're serving tacos and everything like that for everybody that's able to freaking pay rent and everything, right? But then a homeless individual walks across the street, happens to walk just kind of in the area, didn't get food, didn't try to get food or
just
anything,
walking
just
by.
kind of walking in the area, kind of lingering a little bit. And keep in mind, they didn't ask us for like our unit numbers or anything like that. So like nobody really knew who actually lived there, right? But because of the fact that this guy looked a little bit different, or possibly maybe he looked dirty, I don't know, right? Security immediately comes over, but they don't know that he doesn't live there. Maybe he's just a dirty guy or something.
Very
like
true,
that, right?
Yeah.
Like, but
yeah, and I think in situations like that, like it really, it almost like makes me think sometimes, like how hard is it to just say, "Hey, you know what? Can I get 2 tacos?" And then literally just walk over and give it to them. Like, "Hey, man, just wanted to give you a plate. We're just having some food,
Right. And it's like, here's a little extra because we have extra food.
Yeah,
why
exactly.
not give?
Exactly.
Right. And it's kind of crazy that, as a society, sometimes we shy away and we're like, no, we don't want to give money, or no. And immediately we think, as soon as we give them money, being individuals that are homeless, we think already like that we know their agenda.
Right.
That we know exactly what they're going to buy.
Correct.
They're going to go hit a crack pipe, or they're going to go to the liquor store and buy liquor. But then when I got the chance to actually sit down with you in Skid Row and wash people's feet, like none of that was even mentioned. Not once.
Yeah.
Did I hear of anybody saying, "Hey, let's go grab a drink," or like anything like that. I remember the most spectacular rap battle happened. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I remember talking with Pepe for like 30 minutes straight.
That's right, yeah.
And, I remember a guy like falling asleep while getting his feet rubbed. And I'm just like grateful that I'm able to provide that type of situation.
Yeah,
like,
no lie.
It was just anything other than what we normally perceive as a general public.
Yeah.
Like, what we normally perceive as a general public doesn't happen on the same scale that we think it might happen.
Right. Yeah. And it's just really taking the time.
Right.
That's really all it is. And it wasn't even that was a hurdle that I had to jump over, right? Because think about it. These are people's communities. This is where people live, right? So even before I even set up, when I first started out, I went down there and I was walking around before I unloaded, and I said, "Hey, just I wanted to introduce myself. I'm new to the area. My name is Angel, and I'm here just to serve you guys. If there's anything you guys need, water, food, I got some soap over here on this corner. If you guys want to come by and grab a bar, we're just giving it away. And they were like, what? You're giving away soap? Yeah, like, I like to have some. Like, cool, yeah, we'll just come right over. You know, we have waters and stuff down there if you want to come check us out. You know, but before even doing that, I had to ask for permission. Is it okay if I set up here? You know, like, would you guys mind? I don't want to invade your guys' space. Because think about it, we're like literally in their front yard.
Right. Yeah. When you
think about it,
like, it's like go into any neighborhood and just start throwing soap at the doors.
It's territorial.
Right. Like, if I did that, like, they'd be like, dude, this guy's like vandalizing my property. He's throwing soap at me.
Right.
And stuff like that. Like, but like, we don't think. That's the thing that's mind-blowing, is that we don't think like that, like, to ask permission, because these people are still people. It's
their home. So that's the way I took a step back, and I said, you know what, before I go out and try to help anyone, let me ask first and see if it's even okay.
Right.
It may not be a good day. You know what I mean?
That's true.
They may have just gotten in a fight. Someone could have just gotten shot, which are the stories that we hear. Like, this is no joke. The reason why I introduced myself is because I know that a lot of these people are very skeptical about people.
Right.
Any noise they hear, automatically they're on their guard, because they don't know if it's going to be a guy that is, you know, going to come in and try to steal something. They don't know if it's you know, just some random person walking by. They don't know if that person is on drugs, drunk. So always having to look over your back, always having to protect your items, always having to, you know, you're living on the street, you know, everything is out in the open. You can't lock doors. There's no windows. It's just literally just
tent, dude.
Tent.
That. And that's if you're lucky.
Right.
Like, there's people that are sleeping like with little blankets.
There's people sleeping on the bus stop bench.
Yeah, on the bench.
Or underneath the bench, right?
Right.
And so right now it's hot. You think about it. You know, how many of those people would love showers? You know, so that's actually one of our
yeah, man.
One of the things that no, I just want to share. Just want to share, right? One of the projects is running our own mobile shower, you know, and having it run through different areas of Los Angeles. You know, every day is a different city. You know, downtown LA, Skid Row. You know, we got connections with in the city of Inglewood with some of the Rotary Club members. We've gone out and served that area as well by LAX over there. Shout out to the mayor of Inglewood. You know, she's going to be running, and we're actually helping her with her campaign. We're getting together to go out to the community. Her name is Reina Carrillo, so shout out to Reina. Nice. You know, we're just developing a lot of great partnerships and relationships with different community members, and just really getting involved, right, to share the mission, to share exactly what we're out here to do and actually execute, right? Right. Getting together with San Fernando Valley Rescue Mission, right? That's another organization that actually brings the mobile shower, and we bring the essentials for them to be able to have the all-natural exfoliating experience, right? So we bring, you know, these bars. You got some right behind you, I think, or right over here.
I was sniffing on them earlier.
Yeah, man, you know, and delicious. So they get quality bar, and it's something that they don't receive. You know, I've seen what they get sometimes, and you know, they soap is soap, right? But if we're gonna give something, we want to give something that's gonna be quality, something that they're gonna like, right? Something that I would use, and that was really. You're like, I'm not just gonna go and hand out a bunch of like Motel 6 soap bars. No. So it's a 1-for-1 concept. You know, when you buy a bar, we give a bar, and it's that easy. You know, we'll worry about getting it out there. We'll worry about meeting these people. I mean, right now, you know, the company's still growing. You know, we're still trying to, you know, fine tune certain systems, but as of right now, you know, every month we tally up the amount of soaps that we sell, and we go out, we either donate them to different organizations that we already partner with, or we'll have days where we'll just do community outreach, and we'll have an event, or, you know, we'll do a feet washing booth and stuff. And, you know, we have different events like that, like Mother's Day, Father's Day. We had our first annual Father's Day feet washing in Skid Row, right there on 5th and Town. We got together with Bare Truth, another one of our buddies. His name is Joe from Bare Truth. He's the founder of that organization. Shout out to him. He's always out there feeding the homeless, you know, so we do a lot of collaborations. So, you know, if anyone that knows of anything or any, you know, type of grants or stuff like that, we're always looking on ways to be able to really amp this up and inject some real funds into this organization, this company, so that we're able to actually, go out and do more, right? Not only here in LA, but eventually around the world.
And man, that's a huge shout out too, because a lot of people don't realize that every single dollar that you spend, right, is your vote, your basically your opinion about something. When you're putting energy, when you're putting value into it, right, that dollar represents your energy and what you want to put it into. So the fact of the matter is that there's no guesswork with Give Sope, right? There's no guesswork whatsoever. I'm not looking at behind the packaging or anything. It literally says it right on the box for every purchase. It's like a contract right there between you and your consumers.
Correct.
To say with every single bar of soap that you buy, you're putting an extension of yourself through me. I'm going to help you extend and leverage that dollar and give reach to where you can really help somebody's life.
Amen.
And you can really help somebody take a shower. Not only that, but support other programs. Like, think about it. Like there's people out there that'll hear this podcast and say, oh, mobile wash. And it's like, but you don't even understand, man. Like, it really blew my mind when we were sitting on Spring Street. And that was the first time I went out with you, right? And got to see you guys washing people's feet and stuff. And then, there was a guy across the street that was taking a shower in a fire hydrant, dude.
Right.
I'm like, one, that's dangerous because you're in the middle of the street. And then two, this guy has no privacy whatsoever, man. Like, can you imagine just having to be naked or or somewhat clothed or whatever, and you're taking a shower in front of the entire general public? Like, that can be seen to other people as like humiliating, right? Yeah. And just for you guys to be able to have a program and partnerships with different groups and organizations that are saying, hey, let's help you to develop this mobile wash where you can literally go and take a trailer and have people take private showers. Dude, that's huge.
And even be able to give them and provide just daily essentials, right? Like socks.
Dude,
that's one of the highly asked for items. So we had someone donate some socks. My friend Khadijah, her name is Khadijah, she donated 4 boxes of socks.
That's awesome.
So shout out Khadijah. We literally, those came in clutch because it was literally what they had asked for that same week. And so we were able to provide, right? The feet washing, right? That sense of peace, that moment of relaxation, of comfort, right? Of love. They got 10 to 15 minute massage, right? To alleviate some of that swelling, to get some of that blood back flowing into their legs.
Right.
And then afterwards, we give them a nice pair of socks. And I always throw in like 2 or 3 pairs because, they go through socks. Some of these people are barefoot.
Right.
So you walk barefoot, at least you have some socks to walk with, And then we started bringing some shoes. I started donating some shoes, and I've had a lot of customers as well that donate shoes. And so, we're just trying to do what we can to really, be of service to the community in ways that, a lot of people perhaps aren't aware of. We'll just put it that way. We're really trying to be the hands and feet of Los Angeles and really to bring this mission to, to a global perspective, right. Because it's possible. It's just a matter of creating a tribe.
Yeah, that right there says it perfect, man, because there's nothing, myself, I'm Native American, and I can tell you right now, like, I have a tribe, and
right.
They are such a close-knit group of people that, and if it wasn't for my tribe, I wouldn't have my college education, right? Like,
wow.
They were able to pay for it.
But see, that's the support.
That's the support, man.
So that's the support system that I was talking about.
Right.
People don't have that.
People don't have that.
So imagine if you didn't have that, where would you be?
Exactly.
Realistically.
Right, because doesn't matter like education wise, but it's more so like those groups of people, those relationships that you were able to have.
Communication skills, social skills.
Just having the degree itself, right, opens the doors because now you're further accepted by other individuals in order to do the things that you want to do. Right? It's not necessarily about people accepting you as a person because you should be able to accept yourself as a person, but it's the doors that you're able to open.
But it's also, I think it's even deeper than that, because I think with those systems, with those support systems, with those groups of people, right, relationships, when you get to speak with them, interact with them, and actually build bonds, right, you're actually knowing who you are within yourself.
True.
So what if you don't know who you are? What do you believe in? What do you follow? What do you do? Who do you have?
And how do you even get to think about that if you don't even have time?
Exactly. If you're worried about
constantly surviving.
Exactly. So they switch into a mental state of survival. And so a lot of these people are helpless, unfortunately. And yes, I'm not gonna say that every single person out there wants to be out, because that would be false information. There are people that are truly just content with where they live. That's how they want to live their life, and they're not looking to be out. Unfortunately, they're gonna end their days there, But there are that handful of people that just they're on their last string of luck, and they're hanging on, only being able to eat for another week. I was in that position before, where I was homeless out of a car. I know many people like that, and I'm hearing more and more stories, and the more I hear them, and I'm like, dang, I'm not different than a lot of these people. Right?
That's pretty deep.
But the system, the support system, my parents, my brothers, my sister, it's family, bro. It's family. Right. At the end of the day, it's family. And it's not just your blood related family, but it's also your kin, the people that you choose to be around you. Right. It's the Jacobys of the world. Right. Shout out to my wife too. She's a ride or die. Kayla, baby, I love you. She was out there washing feet with me. She was the one that said, you know what, I believe in your vision. I believe in your mission, and I want to be a part of it.
And that's what it takes right there, is that person to sit back and just be like, hey, I believe in you. I believe in the things that you're capable of doing.
Right.
And I believe in the fact that you're able to serve these people.
Right.
Right. And that's the big thing too. Like you explained it earlier, coming from Uncle Jay, right? Uncle Jay.
Shout out Uncle Jay.
That mentality of giving, man. That totally brought you to a different world of peace. And let me ask you, when you started switching from that mode of that abyss that you felt that you were in, that darkness, right, to that area of giving,
right?
What would you how illustrate for me how your life started to unfold after that?
I was in a place where there was just fog. There was no clarity whatsoever. I didn't know what direction to step. So I went straight up, right? I looked up and I started praying. And so God really did open that door for me and really unfolded that for me, because I knew that I wanted to give back, and I knew that I had a heart to give. I've always had. I've always been a man of service, right? I came from the hospitality industry, right? Where I lost everything. And so I've always been serving people. But now I wanted to serve a different type of people, right? And it's only a different perspective of people, because they have a different perspective from living on the street, whereas a lot of these people pay to be at these nice, luxurious places, right? It's two completely different markets. But I really, he was the one that gave me that vision, right? And nothing happens by coincidence. Like I was sharing the other day, we do hear these voices. We do hear this knock on our hearts, on our spirit. We have this urgency to go out and step out and do something. That's exactly what came down over me. It was like, enough is enough. I lived a good life. I've had the cars, I've had the penthouses, and all that's great and everything, right? But it wasn't fulfilling. And so God put it on my heart to go out and actually serve to the way that He asked me to, right? The way that He Himself did. So for me, it was like, look, I'm going to go out, step out, and I'm really just going to connect with people, right? That don't have that opportunity to have that interaction or even communication with someone. Right. And it starts just with one person, and so I did that. Literally just grabbed a bucket. It was Mother's Day, right? When I went out for the first time, it was last year, Mother's Day. And I just got a bucket, got some water, grabbed a few of our bars. I had bought some exfoliating gloves because we didn't have our loofah pouches just yet. They were still in shipping. But I just started to ask these women. I was like, hey, I'm out here doing feet washing and, some massaging. If anyone wants some time of relaxation, come on by it. I want to take care of you. And they were shocked. They were floored. Like, what? You gonna massage my feet? Yeah. Some of these women asked me, can I go again? Can I go again? If no one's here, can I just keep going? I'm like, you know what? Today's your lucky day. Yeah, because I didn't announce I was doing this. I didn't, it wasn't something that I broadcasted. I didn't, you know what I mean? I wasn't looking to really showcase any of this, but as a business needs to develop and unfold, right? We have to show what we're doing. We have to, nowadays we live in a era of, media. People are just so stuck on showing it, and unfortunately that's some of the routes that we've taken, but it has gained us some leverage and some momentum to actually be able to hit some markets and really help some people, because ultimately we need to be able to share their stories.
Right.
That's what we're doing. This is no different. You're sharing people's stories. This is a platform. Well, my platform is Give Sope. It's a platform of sharing the stories of homeless that are on the street as well, which we'll get to that, at some point. Yeah. But, for now is really getting to know and still building that foundation, because we're still in the foundation stages, right? We're still building our pillars. We're still grabbing our team. We're still, connecting and making sure that, hey, let's master the bar game as far as soaps go and being donated in the systems on how we do it. Right. And then in the process, let's, also connect with different organizations, businesses, hotels, Airbnb properties, and, churches, communities. And so that way we can see, hey, who's willing to help us out? This is what the plan is. This is what we're going to do, and for who, right? And where we're going to go at 3 months and 6 months, and have like a plan, right? And really just be able to execute that. But again, it goes back to the tribe. It goes back to family, It
goes back to that support system.
It goes back to that support system.
And also, too, not only do you have the support system, but you also had that support system that was allowing you to develop the support within yourself, too, which is huge. Because what you just did right now was lay it all out, Give Sope. Not necessarily in the most detailed fashion, but 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years out, you already have those things going in your mind as far as what you want to do. And it's really cool to be able to see that, because then it's you designing your life. You're not reactive to the situation. You're more proactive to the situation.
Just living in the spirit, brother.
You live in it, man. And that's the biggest thing, too. And I love the fact that you brought up the spirit part, right? Because it's like, you have taken the moment to sit there, observe, and realize that you are a spirit having a human experience, right?
Amen.
Not necessarily a human having a spiritual experience.
Right.
Because when you're a human having a spiritual experience, now you're limited to what that human being is capable of. But you are transcending yourself above just your mere mortal human form, right? Yeah, I know it sounds weird.
Pastor Jacoby.
Yeah. Call me Dr. Strange, bro.
Yo, like the word says, right? The book says it itself. From dust you arose, from dust you shall return. So our bodies is literally a temple. It's just the avatar, right? That the spirit is moving. So, choose to live in the spirit. I don't feel like you can go wrong.
That's why you're on the collective, bro, to help raise the collective spirits of everyone listening, right? And that's a cool thing, man, because, honestly, when you bring that great attitude, you bring that humanitarian spirit, and really knowing and understanding that everybody is people, everybody, when you take away the body, when you take away the form, everybody is energy. So it's like, why is their energy any less than my energy? Right? It's all energy. It has the ability to be positive and build things up. It has the ability to be negative and destroy things as well.
Right.
But their energy is no different than ours. Right. So it's let's stop separating ourselves.
Correct. But it all circles back to, because remember, they're all systems. It all circles back to the environment. What's your environment like? Right. What are you around? Who's your support? Right. It all goes back to support. We can't live on this earth alone. It's impossible.
No.
Right? God didn't create it to be that way, right? So you think of things deeper in that perspective, and you say, "Man, I'm blessed. We are truly, truly blessed to have the support systems that we have, and we're fortunate to live the life that we live, right? But we always want more. As Americans, we always want more, and there's always more to grab.
Definitely, right? There's definitely
there's
more
always
to grab
more
all the time. It's so weird because living right here in downtown Los Angeles, right? you literally see a testament to the human ego in every single building that's built, right? It's kind of weird, but when you really think about it, it's like, dude, like one skyscraper after the next, after the
and
next.
They're continuing to build, and they're still growing.
Right, they continue to build. And actually, when I was younger, they used to tell us if your school campus isn't under construction, then it's just dying. And it's like, well, why do we have to always be like going that way? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, just take a moment, take a pause, take a break, get to know and understand what's around you, appreciate what's around you. And I mean, it sounds like that's what you're doing, is you're really slowing that time down, being present in the moment, and realizing how big of an impact you can have in any given moment. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. And I mean, if you're just off by 1 degree, right? And I don't know if anybody plays golf out there, right?
I do.
But, right? I mean, like, we're looking at golf clubs and stuff, right? You're off by 1 degree on the tee off, bro. Yeah. You're going 30, 40 yards to the side, and you don't know which way it's going to go, right?
Exactly.
And you don't realize that 1 little degree just launched your ball in a totally different direction. And for you, what you're doing and what I'm seeing and observing is that you're taking that time to measure those degrees and saying, hey, you know what? With 1 bar of soap, I can change your life by 1 degree now, but maybe it's worth 40 or 50 yards later on down the line.
Right.
And that's what's cool, is that you're leveraging that moment to help somebody's life in the long run. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, dude, you're taking 1 step at a time, changing the world.
1 step at a time, 1 bar at a time. That's exactly right. It's the perfect concept. We took a very Tom's approach to it.
Right.
And through hygiene, through spreading that initiative, especially through COVID, I started to see the increase in homeless population. So I said, you know what, something's got to give. Someone's got to go out there and do something, And so it sucks that, unfortunately, we make it about, and I say we as LA, right? Because we are a community. We make it about campaigns, right? We make it about that kind of stuff when it's about helping the homeless, but it's not just a campaign that we're running. This is every single time.
And it's a lifestyle.
It really is.
Chosen.
It really is. And I still go back to these corners. I've made friends in these places, and I know them by name. They have my phone number. I'll drop off dog food if they need it, and things like that. Going that extra mile to really just show support to people that don't have it. Right. And so when something like that comes along, they truly appreciate it. They really do. I get it all the time, and it's such a great feeling. It's such a fulfillment, and it's like there's it just keeps getting better and just keeps getting bigger. So 1 quick question, I guess I would say, this is more so from like the business perspective of it, right? Because like listening to you talk, and I'm just like, man, you know what? I wonder if he was this way before when he was doing the Airbnb stuff. But I mean, I gotta think that you're way better at asking for help now than you were back then, just merely because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, no one man can do this himself necessarily, even though like you may have a lot of goodness and everything like that in your heart and it's just emanating out, right? But like your ability to ask for help and partnerships and things of that sort, I mean, like what do you do? Like, what do you say? Like, what is it that you realized upon yourself that you're like, hey, no, I really got to ask? First and foremost, I just allow the spirit to move in that moment, take a moment, like you said, slowing the day down and not focusing on the speed of everything going on around you. But I just, for a moment, just take a quick deep breath and say, Holy Spirit, guide me in this situation, guide me in this conversation, and allow the doors to open if they're meant to be open and close if it's not something that's for me, right? Simply just throw it out there. And that's something that I've felt that I've has taken me a long way. And it's a very short and simple kind of repetitive thing, but I feel like subconsciously we're talking to ourselves, right? Right. And it's almost like it turns on all the alerts of your brain to like, okay, we gotta focus on what's going on here because we gotta pick up all the different opportunities that could potentially align to what we're trying to do. But at the same time, focus on character, focus on who we're working with, what they're doing and how they're doing it, right? So yeah, I mean, it was I wasn't good at asking for help before. It wasn't my character. I'm not going to say it wasn't. I'm not going to speak that into myself, but it was definitely something I didn't practice. Right. It wasn't a muscle that I used often. Right. But it all starts and stems from leading by example. So just going out there and doing it. Shout out to my sister too, my baby girl Natalie. She was the first person to actually go out there with me. It literally had the dream the night before, maybe around 7-8 p.m. Right. And I already knew I had to go to this event, Mother's Day event, to donate 500 bars for the first time. And I got this just vision of doing this, right? Washing the feet and serving. And called my sister that morning. It was like 7 a.m., 7:30. I'm like, hey, baby girl, do you want to come out with me and serve? Like, I'm doing this and this and this and this. She says, oh, yeah, sure. Like, what do I have to wear? Just throw something on that's comfortable. Right. Cool. I'll meet you in LA. You know, and so she's been that support system, you know what I mean? Like, even as simple as even taking that first step and having that person just go even hand out bars while you're scrubbing. It made all the difference. It created a system in itself. It created the organization.
It created just that environment for you to feel comfortable serving. Right. Because believe it or not, I mean, like, what you did was great.
It was awkward. It was awkward.
It's like you still have that, like you were saying, it's awkward because you still have that little bit of ego.
Right. 100%.
And to have that support system to say to your ego, hey, it's okay.
It's okay, yeah.
It's okay to do this. It's all right. You're still accepted by the rest of us. You're fine. Like, that's what we're missing. There's a lot of times, like, people were wondering, like, what's going on with the homeless issue. The issue sometimes can be us. You know what I mean? It's like, because we're so embarrassed.
You have places around the world, and this is the part that drives me, right? You have places around the world, well, you will not see a homeless person because they will, in fact, take them in and say, do you need a place to stay? Do you need some food to eat? Can I grab you some water? Let's get you some help. Why can it be that way?
That's the thing, man.
It can.
It can. Right? But it's like, and I'm even guilty of this, right? It's like we allow society to push us into this silo that if we are extending a hand or if we're seen with a person that's homeless or something of that sort, that now it's demeaning, right? And so that's like a huge way that your business allows people to, because you now, not only are you solving the solutions for homeless individuals, you're solving solutions for individuals, and like I said, I'll admit it, such as myself, right? Where it's like, are we capable of going down there and serving all the time? No, but what I can do is I can buy a bar of soap from Angel, right? From you, Vic, and I can be like, yo, I need you as an extension of me to be able to take care of this, able to carry this out.
Right. Yeah, man, and that's exactly what we're offering, right? It's really the opportunity to now choose a company, choose a brand, right? Choose a cause and a mission, and a bar of soap that you can now shower knowing that you are helping someone else shower for up to 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
And that's just an estimate, right? Some people conserve their bars and know how to take care of them, but mind you, these people sometimes, unfortunately, they will throw stuff away.
Right.
Think about it. You can't carry everything with you.
No.
And so you're going to be very choosy on, because there's weight. If you're traveling on feet, you're
not trying to travel.
I try to give away waters when it's hot. People are like, 90, 100 degrees. And it's like, you want some water, brother? No, I'm good, man. I just had some. Thank you. But it's like, why do they say no if it's so hot? And, I'm seeing them that they're sweating. It's because of the weight.
Right.
So they have to be very, very particular about the things that they carry, for various reasons. For weight, for tiredness, to conserve their energy, to be able to run faster in case they're getting chased down. Like, the circumstances are endless.
And that's the thing that we don't realize, the thing that we don't take into consideration, that we get all of this stuff in abundance.
Yeah, man.
Like, do I need Nike jogging shoes? No, I don't. Not at all. But can I go out and buy them? Sure.
Yeah.
Or food. It's like, do I have food in my fridge? Of course. Right? Like, other people have to think about that stuff on a daily basis. So, I would just say, just next time, like you were saying before, ask for permission. ask for permission to interact with that person. Don't necessarily just assume just because they're a homeless individual that they need $1 right out of your hand or something like that. Actually get to know them, have a conversation, right? And then further appreciate that interaction that you have with them as a person. Yeah. Because we're all relational beings. We're all energy.
100%.
It's like, why not have a relationship with that energy and then make it better in the long run? Right. Especially going through Give Sope and getting some bars of soap. Dude, man, your soap is killer too, bro. I love it.
I appreciate that, bro. I brought you the black bar, the charcoal activated. That one's a new one. It's exclusive. It's not on the website yet. Oof. I also got you the wakame. It's a Japanese seaweed.
Wakame's bomb.
Has some oats in it as well for the exfoliating. So, we're bringing some pretty cool scents and flavors. I like to call them flavors.
So, dude, honestly, I'm about to eat this right now.
And make sure you use them too, because I have a lot of people that'll buy and they'll say, hey man, I was that soap. I'd like a review from you, and they say, hey man, it smells so good. I don't even want to use it. It looks so perfect. I'm like, no, bro, the way it works is you use it. Yeah. So you think about people when you're in the shower, you actually think like, wow, I made a difference.
I'm helping people. I actually am showering you while I'm showering myself, which is amazing.
That's right.
Dude, solves so many issues with Give Sope. And honestly, I appreciate you once again being able to be here on the podcast with me, just bringing the collective spirit of everybody that's listening, just bringing that collective spirit up. And that's the whole point of the collective, purpose-driven podcast, to host stories and experiences like individuals such as yourself. A badass kick-ass person, dude. I
appreciate you, Jacoby.
Who knows it? This man is amazing. Victor Angel, everybody. Now, Vic, tell the people where they can find your soap, man, on the website, Instagram, Facebook, I want you to shout it out to the world right now, bro.
Solid. So, I always tell people it doesn't cost anything to follow us on our social medias, right? So, on Instagram, it's give.sope. That's Give Sope, give.sope. That's on Instagram. You can also click the link right there in the bio. Website is givesope.com. And soap, again, is spelled SOPE. So it's givesope.com on the website. We have all our scents on there. We have currently 12 different selections. We also have an exfoliating pouch that you can add to the cart as an add-on. Throw your bar in there and just know that you can scrub and have a place to put the bar in as well. So you can, use it on your body, make it nice and smooth.
And for anybody that wants a review, hands down, best soap bar I've ever used. Like, I'm not even joking. And not only that, but the loofah pouch that you give out too. You
gotta have it. You know what, man? When we first came out with the loofahs for like 3-4 months, we were donating loofahs as well. Yeah. So we've donated well over 2,000 loofah pouches.
And those loofah pouches are awesome, man, because like
they are.
I didn't even think about a loofah pouch until after I tried it with your soap. Yeah. And then I'm like, dude, this is a game changer because the soap is in. Like, I used to do that all the time, where you wrap the rag around the soap bar and then you wash it.
And I will say this: I'm going to mention anyone that does hop on the website, buys a bar or buys a bundle, because it's 4 for $40 or it's 1 for $12.99. So when you buy one, you pay a little more, but if you bundle it up, we actually give you a discount because we're actually helping more people. So every bar goes to a person. That's the way we got to look at it, right?
Hey, man, and that's cool when you're saying it like that, because you're like, dude, I'm going to buy 4 for $40, and you're still giving 4 bars of soap out.
100%.
Dude, and you cut into your own profits, and you're like, yo, I still am dedicated to the cause.
I look at the heart, you know what I mean? If you're gonna actually put down $40 to buy 4 bars, right. I look at the heart. So you want to help more people, we're going to show you more love on the price. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's not about how much money we can make, although it is a business. It does need to run. It needs to generate. But at the same time, it's really for the outreach.
It's about your mission, about your cause.
Like what the spread looks like, right? And getting the bars out there to the right people.
Right.
So, and with the exfoliating pouch, I always tell people, pull the bar out the pouch when you're done using it, because it is an all-natural product.
Right. It
will melt and dissolve very fast. So it's always great to just allow it to dry, set it to the side, get a soap saver, get a holder or something like that, right?
Once again, guys, definitely go on the website. Once again, that's givesope.com, right?
SOPE, right.
Soap as in hope.
That's
individuals.
Right. That's right.
Please,
if you didn't know, now you know.
Make sure. If you don't know, now you know. But once again, Victor, glad that you were able to be here today, man.
Appreciate
So
you for having
stoked
me,
that
man.
you were
Thank
able
you.
to share your story with not only myself, but also everybody that's listening. And I hope to continue our relationship and just making sure that I get out there eventually again with you to be able to help our community out and making sure that we grow this organization all over Southern California, because everybody needs a little help every now and then, and everybody needs to be made to feel important. Doesn't
Amen.
matter what economic background you're from. Everybody deserves a shower.
Amen. Appreciate you for having me, bro. Really, it means a lot. This is actually probably one of my first podcasts. I actually don't go out and speak about it much, so the opportunity itself presented itself at the perfect time. I was just talking to my wife. I said, you know what? I need to start getting on some podcasts. I need to start doing some public speaking, because at the end of the day, everyone has a story, and I just feel like everyone needs to hear mine. And so it's not about me. It's about what we're doing for the community, right? What our plan is for the better of the world, and it's just one bar at a time. So please, give us your support. We would love it, just to really be able to help these people that we get to experience and do life with as well.
And folks, that was President and CEO of Give Sope and great friend of mine, Victor Angel. Now let's make sure that you share this episode with your friends and your family that you wish to inspire, and especially a shout out to Anchor and Spotify for hosting the show and allowing listeners and producers the opportunity to expand their thinking. Now let's remember, let's share the stories that inspire change, the stories that challenge us to think differently, and let's always think to give a hand up and not just a hand out. Have a great evening. Take care. Bye-bye.